I'm really, really happy right now as a Cowboys fan.
Jesus, how could you not be? What was it, 56-7? Is that the final?
Yeah, it was over at halftime, basically. It may have
Yeah.
been over at the end of the first quarter,
I
but
think I saw you set a record for first half points. It was like 42-7 or something
yeah,
deficit, or I don't know what
yeah,
it was. It was ridiculous, but
yeah. There was a lot of pain administered that day.
a lot of jokes flying around. I saw the one where, or maybe I made it up, where the Washington should have considered sending their football team instead of their foosball team. That would have been better to play. There was a fight during that game, like on the football team's bench where they were fighting amongst each other.
Yeah, did you know? So both of those are ex teammates from like Bama or something.
Yep.
I think it was Bama, right? Then they got into it because they were
getting their ass kicked.
They were getting dragged up and down the field. I mean, if the Cowboys wanted to run the ball, they ran the ball, pretty well. There was no problem running. There definitely was no problem passing the ball at all.
And you were worried about that the few weeks going into this. You brought that up in the last several shows.
Yeah.
Dak didn't look quite right. And apparently he looks right now, because that should solve or assuage all your fears about the Cowboys passing offense after watching that onslaught.
Yeah, I have one fear. My one fear is they're incredible offensively at home. And they're questionable offensively on the road. So, it doesn't look likely that the Packers are going to lose in the next two games. Vikings are this week. They're fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And it's in Lambeau. And I'll be honest, I should have probably looked at this before we jumped on the air. I'm not sure their last game is, but they haven't played the Bears twice, have they? Or have they? For some reason, I felt like their last game was the Bears or something like that.
Try not to pay attention.
Yeah, so that's not going to be that wouldn't be an issue either. So, needless to say, most of the way these schedules have been made up is it's the Lions. That's right. I had said to you that if the Lions, can pull off the win over the Packers in week 18, that could also be having beat the Packers and the Cardinals to send the Cowboys into the number 1 seed. That would be crazy year for the Lions and the Cowboys. Somehow stars aligning.
Yeah.
Yes, especially with this podcast. But they continued their 56 points at home, only raising that already league leading 40 points per game average there. I don't know what it was. I didn't redo the calculation after that, but it's more than 40. The defense.
You don't have a spreadsheet going that runs all this?
No. But my favorite play of the game was the first offensive play by Washington, who decided, we're just going to test out Trayvon Diggs right off the bat and basically throw him a pass. Like that was the most ridiculous thing. They got the Cowboys off the field. They didn't let up any points, and I was kind of like, oh shit. And they did that, and then after that, just all hell broke loose. I mean, they just ran. They just dominated them up and down the field. It was what you wanted to see. They already clinched the NFC East even before that win. I forget what sort of NFL math had occurred that said, well, they've already clinched it. They don't have to win today.
Yeah,
but I think they kind of wanted to just put that exclamation point on it. And they had some trouble with football team in Washington. Their offense was sputtering there, as you mentioned already, my concerns about it. But I thought going back home, they kind of remind me of New Orleans when they won the Super Bowl. Not in that the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. In that team, those years when they were competing for playoff spots every year, they were lights out at home. But when you got them on the road, it was a different story. So hopefully the Cowboys' only road game would be in Lambeau Field, and hopefully it doesn't come down to a completion of the process. I think the Cowboys defense makes them a legitimate contender for a Super Bowl run. The road offense is what could possibly get in their way. They've got Arizona at home this week, which I had circled as a huge game, but Arizona is a disaster now. So
Right.
I think it's more of like, all right, well, we'll get this one under us and then travel to Philly and see what happens. The interesting thing about that game is I'm assuming the NFL is going to do what they do every year on that final week, which is make sure the game, I think isn't every game at noon or something that day or something, so you can't.
The final weekend of the season?
Yeah, or isn't like
No,
isn't
I don't
like
think they do
almost
that.
isn't like almost
Baseball
like
does that.
I'm thinking of baseball. Okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't know if the NFL did that at all.
Premier League soccer does that as well, but
Oh, well, thank you. One of the sports I follow.
that's
So
a new podcast we need to talk about next year. So
yeah, let's get on that. So I don't know if the Cowboys will know. I don't know what the exact schedule is that week, but I'm assuming the Lions, Packers are noon, and the Cowboys, Eagles are noon. So they'll be playing.
You were definitely jumping ahead there, but
they'll be playing the games at the same time. So
okay.
Well, you think the Cowboys might have a trouble with the Cardinals this week? Or?
Well, I mean, they've definitely underachieved the last couple of weeks after the Lions unlocked the secrets to destroying the Cardinals, but I don't know if that's potentially an injury with Kyler Murray that's not been talked about very much, or what's going on there. But I don't know. I just meant we could talk about this coming week. We'll deal with all the scenarios
week by week. Yeah, week by week, Pete. Take it week by week, buddy. It's the NFL. Who the hell knows what's going to happen? It's been a fucking chaos the last 3 weeks.
But congratulations on winning your division.
Yeah,
I believe did you win the division last year?
No.
Remember what happened last year?
Oh, no. Remember the Red Rifle took over for us last year?
Oh, God.
And we barely limped along after that. So
that'd be the first division clinched in Limp Ditka's history in pro football. So since the Lions certainly haven't clinched a division. So congratulations on that. We've been doing this for 2 years now. Should send you a Limpy award or something.
Send me the Limpy. Send the Limpy over.
The bust of Mike Ditka.
I do have a great moments in gambling history funny story related to this game. So the good old FanDuel uses location services to determine where you're at and whether or not you can bet, not where you live. I was in Kansas visiting my girlfriend's family. I had a parlay I had picked out, which was Dallas Cowboys defense scores a touchdown, Dak throws for over 500 yards, and Amari Cooper catches a touchdown, scores a touchdown. That on a $5 bet was going to pay me $452.
Ooh.
That I was not allowed to bet. That was over in the first half of that football game.
Oh, my God. So you weren't, because Kansas doesn't have sports gambling?
It does not allow sports gambling.
What if you had put that in before you left? If you had done that in Chicago?
That would have been fine.
Okay, I was going to say, I was wondering if it knew that you had gone to Kansas and then canceled your bet when you entered Kansas territory.
No, it was
because the game was happening at that point.
Yeah, a lot of those, because of all this COVID stuff, they've been holding back like the touchdown score players until closer to game time. Because they don't want people like being like, hey, I put money on this guy, now he's suddenly out because of COVID, can I get my money back? They don't want to deal with all that BS, so they hold that stuff till like a lot of that stuff is finalized or close to finalized. And so I went on, and the thing that really pushed that bet over the top too was the Cowboys defense to score a touchdown was plus 500 alone.
Oh my God.
So like it made it crazy because it jumped it to like that outrageous amount of odds because it was like, oh yeah, no, that doesn't happen. So
it did.
And
That's unreal.
Yeah. So great moments in gambling history. Thank you, location services. I even downloaded in desperation before kickoff, I downloaded a like an
location masker.
Yeah, it didn't work. They're onto that.
Yeah, you
they're
got
onto
to.
that.
Hope you didn't pay for that app.
No, it was free for the first week. Was free. I canceled it minutes later.
Some Chinese app. Now they know where you are at all times.
Yes.
We'll see how that works for you.
Well, it's off my phone. It's gone.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
Hello, so anyway, China.
So anyway, I think that closes out the Cowboys conversation this week.
Word Hole Media.